One of the legends of our times. His name was Wayne Dyer. Aho, Michael Torres Jaimes here in beautiful Maui. Just wanted to drop in for a minute and borrow a little bit of your time. Promise I'll give it back. And what I want to talk about is Wayne Dyer and what a story this man's life was. And he shares a story when he was younger. He says that he went to a course, he went to a personal growth seminar with one of his icons. One of his icons in the world at the time was Maslow. And in this course, he said Maslow was this man that was so in tune, so aligned, so grounded, that he was so unattached to the students and how the students would show up and whether they listened or didn't listen, because all he cared about was their hearts and their souls, and try to capture their minds by being non-judgmental. And in this class, Wayne Dyer and a few other people was posed a question. He said, Maslow said to Wayne Dyer, if a man dressed regularly walked into a ballroom and he had a white t-shirt, a cap, and some jeans and some sneakers, and in that ballroom there was people that were dressed to impress. They were dressed like in gowns and suits and ties and fancy schmancy types of clothing and wearing. He says, what would the guy do? And he left him that question. He walked out the room and he came back about half hour later or so, and Wayne Dyer and the rest of the people in the room had all these philosophical answers, all these really fancy answers, the things that you're supposed to say in personal growth and spirituality. And one by one, Maslow shot them down. One by one, they were saying like, well, he'd come in, he'd see them, but he wouldn't have judgment because he knew that he had spiritual principles. And other people would say, well, he would come in and he would adapt himself to the environment by looking at it and maybe go out and dress differently and come back. And Maslow said to them, no, what he would do is as he came in, he would come in exactly who he was, exactly how he was, and he wouldn't even notice that anybody else wasn't wearing or was wearing the way or dressed the way they were. He would just come in present to the people and who they are, not looking so much at the differentiating factors between them and him. And what I want to talk to you guys about is giving away your power and how to maintain your empowered state of being no matter what at all times. And one of the first key things that we have to remember, and I know this from years of experience and working with hundreds of clients and mentoring thousands of life coaches, is I know this one thing, is that if we do not learn to control our own emotional state, that means every time we allow something outside of ourselves to vex us, to trigger us, to make us upset, sad, angry, guilt, shame, then we're essentially giving the control to our emotions to that other circumstance, to that other person. I want you to really think about this, guys, because you may be thinking, well, I don't do that. I don't give my power away. I know the path, right? We all say that until we find ourselves doing it unconsciously. And I'm talking about all kinds of different things. I'm talking about whether you're upset because somebody wears a mask and you don't, or whether somebody doesn't wear a mask and you do. It's okay to have, and I'm going to give you the solution in a minute, whether somebody believes in COVID or somebody doesn't, whether somebody votes for that president or somebody votes for this time. Every time you get upset, every time that you get angry or you feel sad or any of these types of unwarranted emotions, you are essentially giving your power away. Now, here's a solution, because you guys want solutions, right? I'm all about solutions, so stay tuned. Here's a solution. The solution is this, is if you believe in something, like wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, or in Biden or in Trump, or in COVID or not COVID, and these are some of the bigger topics that I want to invite you to look into, then you can stand in your truth. But the truth doesn't need defending. Bam! Let that sink into your unconscious mind, guys. Let that circulate inside your being. When you stand in your truth, whatever that is, then you can stand in your truth and you don't need to attack the other person, because the truth shall set you free. And your truth will give you control of your emotional state. And your truth doesn't need defending because it's true for you, guys. So I share this perception not so that I can be true about my things. I'm offering you guys different ways of looking at it. I'm not telling you how to think. I never told you that. But what I did say is if you can control your emotional states, you will have a lot more emotional freedom to choose how you want to be. And isn't that what we all want, world changers? Isn't that what we all want, conscious world changers? I hope have an amazing, amazing time. And I love you guys from the totalness of my heart, all the way to the bottom, to the top, and to the left, and to the right, coming at you from beautiful Maui, Hawaii.